Hello and a very warm welcome to our second Messy Church. We've got another Messy Church that we put onto our channel back in May for half term, but this is our summer holiday 2020 Messy Church, and it ties in as well with our holiday club. We can't very sadly have a gathered holiday club this year because of all that's going on in our country and in our world, but instead we're going to give you lots of different activities to do all the way through the school holidays. And our Messy Church is called Explorers, so inviting you to come and explore different things. Our Messy Church today is based on the creation story. Our creation is all around us. You may look out your window and have a garden. You may be able to see trees and flowers and maybe some birds and animals. You might look out onto a street and you'll see cars, you'll see people. Whatever your view is, we've all got different pictures and views that we can see of creation that's around us. But today we're going to think about God's story of creation, about how God created the world. Now the first thing that you're going to need to do is to pick up a brown bag. In our brown bags we've got all the things that you're going to need throughout the summer for our holiday club activities, and also all the things that you're going to need today for our Messy Church. So if you've not got a brown bag, then stop the video, come to church, go into our church porch round the other side of church, and you'll find a stack of brown bags there. And please take as many as you've got children for and enjoy the different things in them. So I'm going to have a little look at what's in our bag. So you'll find that in there we've got a timeline for what's going to happen during the summer holidays, a timetable of what you need to be doing and where things are. You'll find there are two things that look like this. We've got a nature bingo and we've got a photo scavenger hunt. These are for a little bit later on in the summer, so just hold on to these for the moment. You'll find you've got a bag, and in your bag are lots of little bits and pieces that we all just wanted to keep together for you, and most of these are from Messy Church. But within your bag as well, you'll find two pieces of chalk. And you're going to need this in the next couple of weeks for one of our first activities that we're doing. So again, keep that safe. Then you're going to find lots of different other things in there. You're going to have some cards. We've got pipe cleaners. We've got people. We've got some cake cases. We've got a straw, got a plant pot, we've got something that looks slightly strange, and you'll also find when you look in your bag there are going to be a few other things to make up our crafts. There are pencils in your bag as well. You will need some glue and some scissors, and you might want some adult help with some of the things that we're going to do. So first things first, make sure you've got your bag at the ready. And we're going to think about our creation story. Now our story of creation from the Bible can be found right at the very front of your Bible. If you've got a children's Bible or a Bible in the house, go and get that. Stop the video and go and get that. Then what you need to do is turn to the very first book of our Bible, which is called Genesis. And we've got two different stories in Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 about creation. I'm going to tell you the story from Genesis 1 today, the way that God made our world. As we think about the world and look around us, you'll see many different things. So let's think about the order in which God created things. And the Bible tells us that in the beginning there was God, but there wasn't anything else there. And so God had to form the nothingness into something. How amazing is that? And so the first thing that God did is he made light and he made darkness. Two things that we need. We need our light for the day. We need our electric lights that we can turn on to see. But we need the darkness and the night for times that we can sleep as well. So on the very first day of creation, God made light and dark. Now I wonder if you know how many days in our creation story there are. It's not that difficult a question. Because if you think about our week, how many days are in our week? We've got 7 days in a week, so there are 7 days in our story today. So on the first day, God made light and God made dark. And I wonder if you can think what he might need to do next. Because what we're told next is there was lots of water and he had to split the water off. And he made our sea and our sky. I don't know if you're going to manage to get to the beach in this summer. I love going to the beach and seeing the sea and looking at the sky and how it all joins together. So on our second day, God makes sea and sky. So what do you think we might need on the third day? We've got our sea and our sky, our light and our darkness. Absolutely, God made the earth, the ground that we walk on, the ground that we live off, the things as you look around us, particularly in the fens, you can see all the different plants that are being grown. So God first of all had to make the earth. And then God made all the plants that grow. So the things that as you drive around this area, you see popping up in the fields. That's what happened on our third day. So then what do we need after that? We've got light, we've got dark, we've got sea, we've got sky, we've got the earth, and we've got plants. Well, we had light and dark, but what we also need is the sun and the moon. We need the sun to bring us to daylight, and we need the moon to be our light at night. Not such a bright light, but we still need it. So on the fourth day, God made the sun and the moon. So we've got lots of things on our land so far. We've got plants, but we haven't got any animals. So on the fifth day, God created animals to be in the sea. So our fish, we have animals in the sea as well. But if you think about all the different things that you might see at the seaside, or if you watched a programme about nature, the different kinds of fish. Think about Nemo and Dory, one of my favourite fish stories. That's what happened on the fifth day. So you've got everything that's happening in the sea. And then not surprisingly, on the sixth day, God made all the things that we see on our land, our animals. But he also created you and me. He created people. And that happened on the sixth day. And every day, God made all these different things. And he looked at what he'd done. And he said, this is good. I'm happy with what I've done on today's day. So we're at our sixth day, but we said that there are 7 days in our week. So I wonder if you know what happened on the seventh day. The seventh day is really important because we need to do this as well. And on the seventh day, God rested. I don't know if he had a little snooze maybe, perhaps he had a look at all the things that he'd done. But God rested on that seventh day, and we need to rest as well, which is why we have summer breaks and summer holidays, to give us time from the normal routines and things that we do. So I wonder if you can picture in your mind all these things that God made. Our earth with people, with animals, with fish, with birds, our grass and our plants, our sea and our sky, our sun and our moon. Isn't it amazing? Well, we asked our church family to take some pictures of creation for whatever that meant to them. And they sent us in lots of beautiful pictures. And so we put them together for you to see different pictures of creation, and you might have one to add to it. So let's watch creation as seen by our church family. So this is our planting challenge. We're asking you to plant some seeds and then to bring them back at the end of August, and we're going to measure and see who has got the tallest bean by that point, because our seeds are these climbing French beans. So in your bag you've got a little pot. You might want to put it on a saucer, because once you put water in it, it might go through it. You've got this very strange looking pellet. Put that in the bottom of your plant pot. You've got 3 seeds. Now these will be in your bags, okay, your little stripy bags. Have a look for them in there, and your seeds are there. And some water. You need about 100 mils. I'm just going to pour some in from this, and you might want to ask an adult to help you to measure that out. So what we need to do first of all is to make this very strange little pellet into some soil. I'm just going to pour some water on it. I'm just watching as it starts to go brown, as it starts to get a little bit bigger. It takes in all the water. Okay, so once your soil disc has all crumbled down, it will turn into earth like that. It'll absorb all the water, and then you just crumble it down. And then all you need to do then is to poke your seeds into it. So they can't be seen, they need to be under the earth. And see how you feel. You might just want to plant 2 of them, but there are 3 there if you want them. So cover those with soil. And then cover that, if you've got cling film, cover it with cling film, or else just put a glass over it. And just keep it like that. Make sure it stays wet enough, make sure it's got enough water in it. And then once the seedlings start to come, once you see the first bit of growth, you can take off your glass, and you can take off your cling film. And then you just let them grow. Make sure you keep watering them. And then bring them back to us at the end of August. Look at your timetable and see what you've got to do. And bring them back to us at the end of August, and we're going to have a competition as to whose has grown the tallest. So this is our bean challenge. So our next challenge, it's not even a challenge this time, it's a craft. Our next craft is our paper flower craft. And for that, have a little look in your bag again, and you'll find a rainbow coloured cake case. Then you'll find just an individual cake case that there'll be different colours, but have a look for that. You'll find a paper straw, and you'll need some glue as well. This is really simple, but it's really beautiful. So take your cake case, squash it out flat on a table. You've got a rainbow outside. And in the middle of your cake case, put some glue. I've got Pritt, but other forms of glue or glue dots would work fine as well. So just put some glue in that centre part of your cake case. And take this cake case and again flatten it out on the table. Keep the coloured side out if you've only got paint, if you've got white on one side, some of them are coloured both sides. And then press that into the centre with that glue. And there you've got your flower and your petals. And this is your stem. So all you need to do, again, take your glue and just put some glue up one side of your straw. You think you've got enough? Take your flower petals and stick them on to the straw. Might have to press and hold it for a minute. And there you've got a paper flower. Now if you want to add some leaves and you've got some green paper, you could cut out some leaf shapes, you could cut out something for the bottom of the flower. It's up to you. If you want to do something else with it, that's fine, but you have a paper flower. For our next craft, we're going to think about all the things that God made that kind of are in our sky and our sea and all the things that walk on our earth. So we're going to think about animals. And it might be birds, it might be fish, it might be your very favourite animal. So have a think what that is, and then in your bag you'll find 4 different colour pipe cleaners, and I'm really sorry if they're not the colour you wanted, but we've done our best to give you different colours. So you can use all 4 pipe cleaners and make one animal if you are really clever. I'm going to make a couple of different animals, but think about your favourite animal, it doesn't have to be the same as mine. Now weirdly, first of all, I'm making my least favourite animal. I'm just going to take the pipe cleaner and just bend it in and out, a bit zigzaggy, like that. And then right at the end, I'm going to give it a bit of a head. Oh no, use a bit of a neck and then a head, maybe like that, I think. There we go. So I've made my least favourite animal, which is a pipe cleaner snake. So that's one idea. For my other idea, you just need to take the pipe cleaner and start just moving it round, just twirling it back on itself all the way up. It would be really great if you can take some photographs and put them on our Facebook page. If you're making different animals, we'd love to see what you're making. Okay, so that's the first bit. And then I'm going to add a second one round it. So we're going to keep coiling it round. Wonder if you can guess what animal I'm making. Perhaps you want to tell us on Facebook what your favourite animal is. I love elephants. Quite like owls as well. Lots of different animals. Not so keen on insects, I have to say. Okay, so we've got, can you think what it is yet? We've got that coil for the body, and then that's our head for our snail. I don't think he's going to stand up very well, unfortunately, but I'll lay him. Oh, he's going to come apart as well. I'm going to lay him there with the snake. And you might have one other pipe cleaner left. You might have used them all to make whatever animal you've made. But have a think of what animal you want to make, and then do put your photos up because we'd love to see what you've made today. So here are your pipe cleaner animals, and I hope they look better than mine do. So we're going to continue to think about all God's creation, and we're going to think about one of God's beautiful creations. And if you watched our All Age service this month, you'll have seen things about caterpillars and butterflies, and we're going to make a butterfly. So in your bag you're going to have a piece of card. It could be a different colour to this, and you need to fold it in half. So it's an A4 piece of card, fold it like that. You've got pencils in there. You're going to need a pencil or one of your own. In your bag, which again might be a different colour to this, you'll find some little pom-poms, and you'll find some googly eyes. You can also use your googly eyes as the pipe cleaners if you want to. There are a couple of different sizes in there. So once you've done this, you need to take your pencil and you need to put your hand, got to get the right way around, onto the piece of paper, piece of card, and then draw around it. You might want someone else to draw around it for you, that might be more helpful. But just draw around all your fingers. And then last of all, you need to have your thumb in there as well. Okay, and it only needs to be around that outer edge. You don't need to do anything down there at the moment. You won't be able to see this too well, but there's an outline of my hand there, and I'm going to cut round it now, but don't go to any of the edges, okay? Again, you might want an adult to help you if you need a bit of help with cutting out, and it can be a bit harder when you're using cardboard. And butterflies are amazing because butterflies come from caterpillars that go into chrysalis, and they sit there for a bit and then they become a whole new creation when they come out as butterflies. You might have read the Hungry Caterpillar book, and that tells you a bit about that as well, about how caterpillars turn into butterflies. But we're just going to have our butterflies. I don't know if you've seen any butterflies this summer. We've had a couple that have flown into our house. And they're always such beautiful colours, so I love to see butterflies. Okay, so you shouldn't have gone to any edges, you should have that left. And then if you open this, that is your butterfly's wings. Slightly strange angle, but you've got smaller hands, so you can probably do it at a better angle than I can do. And then down the middle, just put some glue. Again, any glue is fine. And stick your pom-poms along there. I'm hoping they're going to stick reasonably. Ooh, maybe not that well. We'll keep it flat for the moment. Will they stick? And then take your googly eyes. Whoops-a-daisy. Your googly eyes are self-adhesive, which means that they've got sticky on them themselves. So you've got to find the sticky and peel it off. Or you might have problems like I'm doing. There we go. Then on the tip there, you can put your eyes. You need some good thumbnails or fingernails to do this, to get underneath them. But you don't need to add any extra glue at least. They stick there. And eventually you can probably turn it around a little bit when it's dried and you've got your butterfly. So we're going to think about the sun that God made, the light that God gives us from the sun. And we know that at night we have the moonlight, although it's much darker at night. So we're going to think about the sun and God giving us light. Now in your bags, you'll have a piece of yellow card and a piece of orange card. You need both of those. You're going to need a ruler or a tape measure if you've got one. If not, don't worry, you can manage without one, but if you've got one, it'll be much, much easier. You're going to need your little pack of pencils. You're going to need some scissors, again you might need an adult to help you, and you're going to need some glue again. First thing you need to do is to take your ruler, and you need to find a light switch in your house, so a switch on the wall where you turn the lights on, and you need to measure the outside of that light with a ruler. You need to measure across the top and down the side. Okay, so once you've done that, come back and remember those measurements. I hope you've written them down if you need to. And on the orange piece of card, they need to draw how big it is. So ours is round about 8.5 centimetres. So I'm going to draw a line that's 9 centimetres, okay? So just a little bit bigger. And I'm going to do the same going down, another line that's 9 centimetres. And then across again. You might guess it, 9 centimetres. And up the other side, just join them together, and that will be 9 centimetres, strangely. Okay, so what you then need to do is make a bigger border around the side of what you've done. So a couple of centimetres might be really good if you've got a ruler. Measure a couple of centimetres above what you've done to there. And again, do it down each side so you know where you're drawing. Okay, and then you need to line up those points, okay? So you can draw a really big line down there. And then to put your ruler across there, it'll join up those points for you. Do the same across there, do a really long line, and if you put your ruler on that point there, it will join that up. Okay, so you should have something that looks a little bit like a frame. Okay, so what you need to do first of all is cut round the biggest of your frames. Again, ask an adult to help you if you need that. You might need a bit of help with the measuring. Okay, so it should look like that, and then you've got a bit of a window inside. Now very lightly, just fold your card to the side and just make a bit of a cut there. Don't stab it because you could hurt yourself doing that. And then from that cut round your inside window, okay? So the inside of your other little square. You've got a bit of a frame. So that's your first bit. You can put your orange card to one side. Then you need to bring your yellow card in and find a pencil again. And on that, I want you to draw a sunshine. So you need to draw a circle. I'm going to draw around this because my drawing is not brilliant. So just draw a circle. Doesn't matter what size it is, you just need to be able to see it. Okay? And then from your circle, draw some points. I know the sun doesn't have points, but we draw points to think about the sun's rays and the light that it gives us. So just draw some points out from your sun. Hopefully your drawing is a little bit better than mine. Doesn't matter how many points you draw, just draw right the way round till you've got all the way around your sun. And one last one there. Okay, so it should look something a little bit like that. And then we need to cut out that whole sun, so we need to cut out around the points. I'm going to get rid of that biggest bit of card so I can just cut round this. My points are a little bit wonky, so don't worry if yours are. And I wonder what today is like, because we're making this in the week before and it's really sunny today. But I wonder if you look out your window today, what is the weather? Is it cloudy? Is it sunny? Is it raining? Because we've had lots of different weathers over the last few weeks. And I hope for your summer holidays you're going to get lots of lovely sun. Oh, it's a very wonky point, but never mind. And my very last point there. Okay, and it should look something like that. Okay. Now, on your frame or on your sun, you can make your decision what you want to do. You need to write the words, God made the light. I'm going to write it on my frame. Okay, I don't know how well you can see that from this, but I've written across the bottom, God made the light. Remember, God made the darkness as well. Then you need to get your Pritt stick again, or whatever glue you've got, and then just put a little dab sort of roughly in the centre of your sun. Ooh. And then you just stick your sun into the corner. It should look something like that. Then you need to take it to your light fitting and you put it around your light so that every time you turn on your light you're going to remember that God made the light and God made the darkness, and he saw it and he thought that it was good. So we're going to show you a picture of this around our light fitting. So remember as well in our creation story that God made the earth and God made the sky and God made the water as well, and he formed all of this out of nothing that was there. So for this craft, have a look in your bag and you'll find a paper plate in there. You'll also find some cotton wool balls in there. Then you'll need to have your pencils again, and you'll need to also have some glue to do this one. So take one of your perhaps darker pencils and draw a squiggly line across your plate. You can do it either side of your plate, it doesn't matter, but just make a squiggly line. Now you've got choices here, because we're thinking that God made the earth and God made the sky. We thought God also made the water and God made animals and people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the sky and the earth, but you might choose to do something different. So for our sky, You need to get the glue back again, and then just put lots of glue all over your paper plate. You can colour it in blue, that bit, if you want to, that's absolutely fine. There's hopefully a blue pencil in there for you. And take your cotton wool balls. You might want really fluffy clouds, or you might just want to stick them on as they are. So you can pull them apart into bits and pieces, or you can stick them on as they are. Do whatever you want to do to make your sky. So I said to you, we're filming on quite a sunny day, but then we have clouds as well, and all the clouds have different names. I'm never very good at remembering cloud names. I remember cumulus, I remember cirrus, but I'm not good beyond that and all the different clouds. But perhaps you can have a look over the holidays and think about what all the different names of clouds are when they look different. Okay, so I've got a really cloudy day, okay? You could always take some of your yellow card and you can make a sun with that for your sky. You could colour it in blue. You can do whatever you want for your sky. I just thought I'd have a bit of cotton wool on mine. So we've got the sky and we've got the sea as well. So I need to find my blue pencil. And you could draw, you could colour the whole thing in blue. I'm going to make some blue waves. I don't know if you can see how well I'm doing that. So I've got some blue waves there. If you've been to the beach, you'll know that you get little waves and big waves. Now I'm also into that, I'm going to draw a fish because God made the fish, didn't he, in the sea. I'm going to draw a very simple fish. So there are a couple of my fish that I've drawn in there. You could again make some out of card, or you could draw some. You could think of some of the other things that are in the sea. Maybe some of the coral, some of the reefs, or things that you know about, to make that into a scene of sky and sea and earth. And then the middle bit, you might want to make that line, whoops, there. I'm going to find my green pencil. Yep, and I'm going to colour that in. You're probably far neater than I am. Remember that we have sky, we have earth, and we have sea. I could use your paper plate to make all three or just one of those. You can make the earth look a little bit different with some flowers or things like that. So create it and make it into what you'd like it to be. And if you want to, you can punch a hole in the top, put some string or some ribbon in, and then you can hang it up. So you've got your earth that's hanging there for you to see, to remind you of all that God made in the earth, the sky and the sea. So we're going to have our time of prayer, and we're going to say thank you to God for the amazing world that he made, for the beautiful things that we get to look at, for the lovely people that we get to spend our lives with. And so to do our prayers, if you have a look in your bag, you will find there is a paper person, and that might be you, that could be somebody else that you know. So you need your paper person and you need some pencils or some pens for this prayer. And I want you to take a moment just to think of who or what you want to pray for today. There might be somebody that you know that's not very well. There might be somebody that's having a difficult time. Or maybe you've heard about a place on the news and you want to pray for that today. So we're going to write all our things onto our person that we want to pray for today. So I'm going to pray for St Peter's Yaxley, for the church that I'm vicar of. You could also draw pictures if you wanted to, but I'm not very good at drawing pictures, as we've already established. So I'm going to pray for our church. I'm going to pray for my husband, who's called Simon. I'm going to pray for my mum. And she lives down in Cornwall by the sea, so she sees lots of creation in the sea as she looks out her window. I'm going to pray for my sister, who's called Rachel, and for her family. I'm going to pray for Rwanda, because that's a country that we share with in our ministry. We give them some money for some of the ministry that they do, and we go over and see them, and they bless us hugely in the things that we do. So we've got a tithe with some people in Rwanda with a church called St Peter's Kabahiri. So I've written Rwanda on there. And I'm just going to write thank you, because I want to thank God for all the lovely things that we have. So I've written some things on my little person. You can use both sides. You can draw things. You can write very different things to me. But then we're just going to spend a little bit of time looking at our person and praying for the things that we want to pray for today. So let's pray. You can put your hands together if you want to and close your eyes, but you don't have to. Loving God, we thank you for the beautiful creation that you give us to live in, for the places that we get to go for a walk, for the seaside where we get to build sandcastles and splash in the sea, for the people that we share our lives with, for our family and our friends. We give you thanks for people around the world who maybe are in difficult times, and I'm praying particularly for Rwanda at this time. And loving God, we want to thank you for all that you give us, for the light and the dark, for the sun and the moon and the stars, for the earth and the sea and the sky, for the animals and the plants and the people, for the people that we get to share our lives with. We say thank you. So loving God, we bring our person to you and we say thank you, and we pray for anybody that's particularly in need today, for those people that maybe we're worried about or are poorly. So thank you, God, for all that you give us. And we finish our prayer with our Amen. I have loved joining in with you for this summer holiday at Messy Church, and I hope that you've enjoyed it as well. Keep hold of your bags, because there's lots of things to do throughout the summer holidays. Have a look at your timetable each week and see what you need to be doing, and I hope you enjoy all the different activities. We're going to gather together as such, not in a big group, but we're going to ask you to bring back your beans that you've grown, and we're going to have some challenges for you in our church car park at the end of August. So again, have a look at the timetables there, and we'll make sure that is all done very safely. I hope that you have a really wonderful summer, that you enjoy all the different things you're doing, that you enjoy being part of our Explorers, Messy Church and Holiday Club. We're going to move into a song to finish with, but have a lovely summer.
It's the dinosaur song. Let's take a trip back in time. So many years ago, walking on the earth with supermassive animals with teeth and claws and fur. Some could swim and fly and crawl, but way more radical is that God who made them is alive and greater than them all. God is bigger than a dinosaur, taller than a dinosaur, stronger than a dinosaur. God is older than a dinosaur, more mighty than a dinosaur, more awesome than a dinosaur. Oh wow! So was Tyrannosaurus Rex, king of